girls are much better at setting up their profiles on Instagram, and y'all know all the tricks, all the angles, all the makeup, all the filters, all the Photoshop, all the apps needed to make you guys look amazing. I'm not saying that women are not beautiful, but some girls are just a little better at making themselves digitally beautiful. And sometimes when you get their dating, after you get like their Instagram or something like that, you'll be like, hey man, after the first 6 photos, which were on your Hinge or you're on your dating app, whatever, you're like, it's not as nice anymore.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what Jay's.
You know what I mean?
I know where Jay's going with this.
And guys, most of the time, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Like if a guy has some pristine profile, you probably go to his IG. He probably also only has those same 6 photos on his IG.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a question.
Shoot.
Okay. So for guys, right? Like a lot of girls use filters, right? Like
Yes.
I use filters. I try to minimize my filter usages because like, you know, I feel like a lot of people see me in person. I hate the way you're looking at me.
I was like, where's this going?
You know what's funny is because like I swear Christian in the past was like, dude, you're always using filters on your like Snapchat or whatever. But like,
I sent it to you?
yeah, I remember. I remember you asked. But no, like my Instagram is very like I would say like my grid, right? Is I don't edit my photos at all in terms of like I don't touch like my face. That's too much into like you gotta zoom in too much on like Photoshop or something, and I don't have the brain power for that. But I do. I only edit the like the brightness and the coloration of the photo. But like, so my question is like when you guys like okay, do you guys like feel that a lot of girls you see on like Instagram, like they don't look like their pictures, like in person, like don't look like themselves in person? Because I will like, you know, like I'll like put on makeup and I'll like look, you know, like I feel like my, you know, face looks good and, you know, I won't need to like use a filter or something like that. And then I'll be like, oh, like, you know, I'll just like ask like one of my like, you know, guy friends or whatever, you know, just guy friend. They're like, oh, like, I was like, do I look pretty? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, do I look like my pictures? And they're like, and I'm like, what? Like, I feel like I look like my photos on Instagram. Like maybe I use a filter on the story post, but like, you know, like, do you guys notice those things?
Wait, so you're telling me you weren't using it on your IG?
I would say for some girls it is very noticeable because you'll be looking at their pictures, you'll be like, why is there like no detail in your face at all? Like it's just like it like there's one pixel, it looks one filter, it looks like it's like one filter, it looks really not, it makes your face look unclear,
so snatched.
So like so unclear that it looks clear. Does that make sense?
Paris?
No, there's like it's like a filter or something. They take a picture of their face,
perfect.
and it literally makes them look like there's not a single blemish on their face. I'm like, it looks too perfect, and no one's face is that perfect. It does not exist. That's the type of stuff that guys will look for. I mean, yeah, you're changing the temperature or whatever. That's fine. Like I do that too. Like if I take a picture under like really blue light, I'll put some warmth in there because it just makes your picture look better.
Yeah.
Right. But like that's okay. But when you're doing all the other crazy filters and stuff where you're trying to like hide certain things, and also another thing is girls know their angles better than guys. I know girls, they have the same facial angle in every single one of their photos. Every single one. It's just the same place in a different like. In a different degrees, but their face is at the same angle. Mm-hmm. So like, how the heck am I supposed to know what the other side of your face looks like?
It's secret.
That's not their good angle. It's like the other side of the moon. Don't know
That's what I'm saying, man. You see the other side, like that's not too bad.
I disagree. I don't think every guy can tell.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't
Guys
think,
are stupid.
Yeah, I don't think every guy can tell.
Yeah.
But I think that if you are knowledgeable enough, you can tell.
Yeah.
Can you tell, Mike?
about like filters and stuff like that. Yeah, I can tell.
Okay.
It's because like I've seen them out in like public. So it's like,
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like sometimes like you'll see like a picture and then like you see the person like in real life. I was like, you're like 30% of like that photo.
Yeah. See, I fear that. I don't like that.
Me too. Every person
Do
fears
I look
that.
like my?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, IG is you put the best version of yourself on IG.
Yes.
Everything that you do, even if it's just a random ass picture, like you put the best foot forward in your life, your picture. So I think, in the back of everyone's minds, it should always be like, okay, this is probably not them in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to base my assumptions or judgment based off of their IG.
That is true.
But I guess if you are meeting somebody on a dating app and you ask for their IG, that's all you base it off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just when there's like a big contrast between photos. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
if there's like a massive contrast, you're like, hey, yo, there was.
I know an example, but I'm not obviously not going to say it.
You don't want to say it?
No.
Okay. I will.
With a tease.
I want to know. Wait, what are we talking about? What are we?
He said he has an example, but he doesn't want to say it.
Is this someone we know?
No, someone we talked about in this room.
Okay, I'm scared. I want to know now.
Me?
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm like, I'm in this room.
No, okay.
Obsessed with
Oh,
Jesse.
No.
Oh, yes,
Yes, you're right.
Obsessed with who?
She's prime example of
Girl
that.
that's some girl that's like obsessed with me right now, but I'm not about her at all.
Okay, we'll talk
Talked
about it
her. We
after.
talked
Yeah,
about it.
we'll talk about it later. But yeah, there's this girl like she's like on my ish, but I'm like my interest level is probably like -1 million.
Oh,
Again,
damn.
see what I'm
Told me
saying?
about her.
I did? Okay, cool. We're going to talk about this after.
Okay. So I think that when it comes to women, this is just in my experience, I think like 50% of them are catfishing.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I would say that overall in like the dates that I've been on, when I go on Hinge, like 50% of them are catfish. Or actually, catfish is a harsh word. I would say they're almost every girl that I see is probably at least minimum 1 point below. If they're a 7 or 8 on the social dating, if I would rank them, they're probably a 7 or 8. If I see them, they're probably 1 point below.
One low. Yeah, that makes sense.
But in
Let me go
general,
back
but
and look at
then
mine.
I've met girls who are basically like they look like a 7, but they're really a 4 in person.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it is really bad. Like there's been instances where I'm like, oh dang it, oh man.
You know what I think about? I think the closer to their face their picture is, the less likely of a catfish it is. But when they got those super zoomed out photos where it's like, but it's not as far. It's like when it's far out. Like if someone's taking a photo from where Christian is of me, that's when it's like bigger, more likely to be a catfish. But when they're taking like those full on selfies, like if you're right across from a coffee table, like from me to you, it's a lot less likely that's a catfish. She can't hide.
I will say this is not 100% when it comes down to it. I think the ones that wear the most makeup are the ones with a higher probability of catfishing.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm worried about because like on
you ever get-
TikTok.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you ever get photo with somebody and you like meet them up? It's like who? Like,
Yeah,
who's this?
yeah. So
yeah,
like
without
Like,
makeup on.
Yeah, like
Oh,
they're
God.
hungover. I'm just
yeah, if I see a girl with like, that's why like one of my biggest turnoffs. If I see a girl wear way too much, like she's contouring her like forehead, I can see that she's contouring her cheeks and everything. I'm like, you do not look like that. Come on now, her like the contours on the nose is completely centered, so her nose is so sharp. I'm like,
Yeah.
bruh.
I mean,
Some girls be contouring the cleavage too, man.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
wow.
I've seen that.
Yeah, the collarbone. I'm like,
I don't want it to be like where I'm like super drastic from like I've seen some TikToks and they transform themselves. And it's like it's definitely amazing and it's cool that they can do that. Like I'm not really good at makeup. I know what to put on my face, but like, I'm not like no makeup artist or whatever. But yeah, like I mean like I do like contouring too, but like I already have high cheekbones, so like when I smile, they're like touching my eyes and shit. But like for me, I don't do it for like the acknowledgement of men though. Like I feel like I'm kind of past that time in my life. Like if you like me at this point, then you freaking like me, and that's all good and well. But like I do a little contour on my nose. Like I don't really got
That's
a nose,
fine.
so
That's
like I do
chill.
a little contour or whatever. But like without makeup on, like I feel like I look pretty much the same. And I think like you've probably the most.
No, you're
And
pretty much
Christian,
the same.
yeah,
overall.
like I mean, yes, like I have my eyebrows microbladed, so that obviously helps because otherwise I'd be looking crazy. But and I got my lashes done and stuff like that. But for the most part, like my day to day, like I just like I don't like wear makeup. I wear a lot of like you guys have probably heard it, but concealer. A lot of females use concealer, mostly for like blemishes and shit. So like like I don't like when my skin is uneven,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I've been like I told you I've been dealing with like breakouts and stuff. So like I want myself, I feel better for myself. So the same thing that we were talking about earlier about like womanhood, like feeling like a woman, you know, about the whole breast situation. It's like the same, I think it goes for the same for like women in terms of like their face. So like their usage of makeup is just like, you know, to make them feel like more like more like feminine, more like a, you know, a woman, and like, you know, you can, you know, as long as you use it like in moderation and, you know, like you're not completely skewing yourself.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
that's important. But
see, you like I said, you on a good, like Mike said, you're on a good level. But there's some women out there who just go OD. Like it's like
Yes.
completely different.
Yes.
I told you,
Yeah.
I've been on dates where I'd be like, oh man, and I'm too nice of a guy to like not go through with this. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm already here.
Yeah, and
Might
that's
as
so
well.
unfortunate to come to that and then be like, oh, like, dang, you know, like, what the hell? Like,
That's exactly
I
what my
was-
mom said.
who is this? You know, like, I would be so, like, distraught, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
But I have had cases where they didn't look good as in their pictures. They look better in person too. That's
oh,
happened.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it works both ways.
that's
It works both
happened.
ways.
Yeah,
me
yeah,
too.
that's true. That's true. Yeah,
Just hope and pray.
I was mostly talking about like the filters, like on like Instagram story, I guess. Like,
Oh,
a
those
lot
are
of-
whatever.
A lot of people use those and then they'll post it on their grid too. But like those like filters that like really contour you, you know?
Wait, they
it's
do?
Like,
I thought they just changed the lighting.
Oh, they have different.
no, not the ones you swipe on. The one that you like select down at the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah. There's some that I use them, but they're like I use them to like they'll change the shading of like a picture. I didn't know they contour your face.
Oh yeah, it's like Snapchat.
What? I've never used the face contouring ones. Man, that's a whole new world.
Yeah, like I mean, even this, if you look like even like the Snapchat ones, like even like the dog one.
I know the dog one. It's
Yeah.
slim people's faces.
Yeah, yeah. But like you can see too. So if you try to block off like part of your face, just so you can see like the outline of the filter, you can see where it tries to like, you know, it snatches people. That's why I mean like that's why females like to use them
Get
because they're like,
snatched. Get
I didn't.
snatched.
I learn something new every day.
yeah.
Dang, I
Well,
did not know that.
I don't know. I mean like.
I'm about to be looking at people. Hey, is that a filter I see? Okay, never mind.
I mean, but you can also tell from the top. You'll
that's what I'm
see,
saying.
like-
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm paying extra attention to
Yeah.
that top filter
But
now.
usually it's because I feel like a lot more women now use those filters based off of like when it's like when you're in the dark and you have to use flash.
Okay, I
Like
see what you're
that
saying.
front camera flash is not it, you know, and you don't need to be looking at everything.
Should invent a better one.
But it's like,
Portable flash.
yeah, I need to get one of those. It's very loud though. It's like, bam.